Yes. Good evening, people. We're back. Well, good evening for some, good morning for others, and good afternoon for a small minority. But we're back. It's the Armoury TV. We got a star-studded cast here today, boy. I don't know how we managed to get this four together. It's like Todd Bowley in the mix getting this four together, boy. We've been spending cash to bring this panel together. So we're gonna get into the intro and we'll introduce the panel. Let's do it. Yes, we're back. It's the Armory TV. I've got the greatest panel I've had in a long time. This feels like a gunslingers. I'll be honest, Candace. This feels like a
Do you remember
gunslingers.
them ones
But
there?
I'm in the corner now instead of you. But it's one of them shows because we're not going to talk about anything that's really happening at the moment. We're going to touch on obviously the transfers and that, but we're going to predict what's going to happen for the rest of the season. We're 19 games in. We're exactly halfway through. We have 19 games left. And that's what we're going to talk about. Where will Arsenal end up? We're going to take it month by month, what we're expecting to see, what we'd be happy with in that month points wise. We're going to go through the difficult fixtures, the easier fixtures, whether we rest Partey, whether we start Jorginho, all those things we're going to talk about in this. Um, and then, yeah, we're going to see where we end up at the end of the season. And do we feel Arsenal will win the
Hey,
league?
do you
That's
know
the
what?
question everyone's
Hey,
asking.
Gumsa, if I'd known this was
Nigel,
the
come in.
if I'd known this was the show, bro, I don't know if I would have committed to this. You're getting me to commit to certain results here, bro. I don't know about all that. Anyway, let's get it going. Let's get it
Listen,
going. Let's get it going.
we're getting there. So without further ado, let's bring you in first. We got the one touch TV, the Niger Englishman. How you keeping, brother?
Oh yeah, now my people, it's your dark-skinned man from the motherland. If you didn't know before, tonight you go understand. I'm good, bro. Little 7 out of 10 transfer window. Let's go, man. Let's go.
I love it.
We'll
I
be
love
dropping
it.
some
And
bombs
we got
later,
G
though.
Talks. How you keep? All right, I'm ready for that. Mr. G Talks. How you keeping?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah. Can't complain. The window for me was a little bit indifferent. But I think echo what kind of Nigel said just there. I ranked it a 7 out of 10. Wasn't a perfect window, but we did some good business. And now I think with the window shut, it's just focusing now on the next 19 games in the Premier League. Put everything else aside, all the agreements, the disagreements, and let's just focus on the football. So yeah, I'm good, man. I'm feeling positive.
100%. And Canners, long time. How you keeping, brother? Well, actually, no, I saw you briefly yesterday.
We kind of hooked up briefly yesterday.
We crossed
in
paths
amongst,
yesterday. We crossed paths, and
yeah,
we crossed paths.
passing ships and all that. Do you know what I mean? Flipping it. But no, listen, I'm in the company of royalty here, man. Flip sakes. Oh, this is great. This is great. I'm looking forward to this. Those ones when you're rubbing your hand with glee. If that was in a dictionary, it would be a picture of you three and me coming up to this. You guys, man. All blessed, man. It's all good. Do you know what? Isn't it crazy though when we're top of the league? Arsenal fans still have something to argue about.
Brother, it's crazy.
You won't be an Arsenal fan
if we all agree,
it's all good though. It's all love. That's what makes us Arsenal, man.
It's a day in the life of an Arsenal fan, isn't it? I could, again, my memory is very long time. I remember what I've been for the last 10 years, so I ain't got nothing to grumble about this year, what we've done in the window, man. So, but let's get into that. Let's get into it. So, obviously, window started off. It looked like everything was Mudryk. That fell through. Chelsea come on. I won't even say robbed us. We refused to pay what Shakhtar Donetsk were asking for, and Chelsea didn't pay. They just, you know what I mean? They put the money up and took him. We then got in Trossard. Yeah, we then get in Trossard, and that kind of softened the blow a little bit. Out of nowhere, Jacob Kiria come in. Again, not many of us have heard too much about him, but he came in. and then it was kind of leading up to the centre midfield. During that, we found out Nene was injured. Partey then came off injured against the City match, so the meltdown started to begin from them. We need a centre midfielder. Heavy links with Caicedo. Come out of the blue, we put in a very, very serious offer. That offer is not no joke. Obviously, Brighton were holding out, and then we turned our attention to Jorginho and got that over the line on deadline day. So I know two of you have rated the window. Nigel's giving it a 7. G-Talks is giving it a 7. Canners, just give me a number first, and then we're going to talk a little about Jorginho before we move on to the rest of the show.
You know what? With what we need, I believe I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay, I like the optimism.
I won't go into why. I'll go into why later, but I'll give it an 8.
Well, I'm going to throw in one thing, because that's the only thing that threw me a little bit was the length of El Nene's injury. If it's believe what's come out as an ACL, and then we let Sambi go. So we needed quality, and I believe Jorginho's an upgrade on him. But then we're 2 players short, and we didn't have much depth. The only saving grace, I think, is maybe ESR. I think if he comes in and plays in the Xhaka role, maybe that's where Sambi Lukonga now can go out on loan. But what's your guys' thoughts on it? Do you feel? I know, Canners, you were saying you was happy with Jorginho, but you wanted one more. Canners, yeah, go first. Tell us about your feelings behind it, why you got an 8, and then if you feel we're still a little short, look stronger, but have we got the numbers, especially in the midfield area?
All right. So I'll go with the fact. Yes, okay, fair enough. We tried to get from Madrid, tried from Madrid, didn't get him. And I tell you what, right, I do like Trossard, and I've liked him for a long time. He's always been a player. So, oh man, it'd be decent if we could get him. Blah blah blah. Look, fair enough. Madrid looks decent. Trossard, for me, it can be like Armoury kind of type of signing. In my opinion, you can play anywhere across the front three. Comfortable with both feet, tricky, quick feet. He's got a goal in him. I did like his debut against his full debut, you could say, against Man City. There's once he gets more in tune with how the players play around him, I just think we've got more to come from him. And I think for the second part of this season, it's going to be a great addition. We needed him against Newcastle. Like a different kind of player, because it got stale. Yeah, it got stale, basically. Martin and Saka both got stale towards it. Bringing Trossard on, with 10, 15 minutes to go would have caused them all kinds of problems, as it did against United. I'm going to throw a little curveball, Kiwior, right? Why I think this is an absolute gem of a signing. This dude, I've been doing a little bit of research on him and stuff. I've been looking up on him. He actually plays centre back, but mainly he's been playing as a DM.
Yeah, I heard he had like 25 starts as a DM last season.
DM. That's why Lukonga's gone. That's why we've allowed Lukonga to
very true.
To go.
Interesting.
And that's why I think. Sorry, go ahead.
So, carry on. Yeah, because again, I was looking at ESR, but I didn't think. The other option.
No. Yeah, and that's because my thing was, for this window, we needed 2 centre midfielders, and I think we've got them. In my opinion, we can have some good rotation when it comes to Europa, and for the Premiership, first choice, Xhaka and Partey can always be playing on a Sunday. Whereas you can have Kiwior or whoever, you can ESR if he's fit, and others. They can be rotated to play in Europa and with a strong enough team. And for me, Jorginho, I just think is a very clever signing. And I understand. Don't get me wrong, right? I understand that the frustration that and the kind of. We're helping Chelsea out. We're kind of letting, we're getting their casts off and things like that. It's another Willian, David Luiz, and all that. But I don't think I think he's a different player and a different kind of mentality and a different stage in his professional career than that. He's not over the hill yet. I do believe he has 1-2 seasons left in him, and that's what we've got him for. We've got him for 18 months, and get the best out of him, really, for what we need. What we needed to do was get over the line. We need to get over that. Fair enough, we may not get over the line, but you know what? We're in a far better position right now, I feel, than what we've ever been. And that's why I give this window 8 out of 10.
And I'm surprised at this one. Silver Fox is saying his guy Cannons is giving the same rating as me, and this is the same Silver Fox who said if we sign Jorginho, he's deactivating his account. He ain't part of the Armoury TV no more. The meltdown was real from this one. So Silver, put in the comments.
That's actually true.
Just one question though, right? And I put this in I think in one of our chats, right? If Jorginho had come from PSG, would we be worried or even thinking about slating Jorginho coming to Arsenal?
I would say yes.
That's a good question.
No, I would say yes.
You wouldn't be happy, or you'd be slating it still?
I'd still be slating it, and I tell you why. And I think I kind of alluded it to obviously in our WhatsApp group chat. Like for me, I think in terms of the window itself, we missed out on Mudryk, or we walked away from Mudryk, whatever narrative you want to believe. At the end of the day, the deal never got done. We pursued Caicedo, who by all accounts was not for sale at any point, but yet we've bidded twice. And if you want to believe the Athletic, we've practically irritated or rubbed Brighton up the wrong way in terms of our relationship with them. So I think for me, what it is that, and I know it's not a popular opinion, but it is my opinion, is that I see a trend of Arsenal missing out on their top targets.
I see it too. I see it too.
Yeah, I'm going to speak on that in a second.
At the moment, I don't think it's a huge issue. And the reason why I don't think it's a huge issue is because the alternatives or the players that, because obviously when a club goes to sign a player, they primarily move for one player, but they've got other players in the wings that they could move to if a deal goes south or whatever. So the alternatives we've gone for have been absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And while they're performing and while we're top of the league, I think a lot of Arsenal fans will tend to try and overlook this narrative or this trend. But trust me, the trend is there. The trend is real. We have gone in for some top players, one being Vlahovic. Whatever player preference, he decided to go to Juventus. We went in for Martinez, again, player preference. We didn't seal that deal. We've gone in for Caicedo. We've not been able. Remember, we've gone in for Caicedo and we've not even competed for his signature with another club. We've had free.
No, but G.
One second. We've had a free run at him. We've not got him. And then who was the last player? Also, when you look at the Mudryk situation, now I understand that every single transfer is different, and all there are lots of different factors as to why a potential deal might not go through. However, for me, it's a trend. It's something I've seen in terms of like not sealing these big deals. But at the same time, I'm not crazy angry about it, because at the end of the day, I'm looking for my club when a deal doesn't go through. I'm looking for the club to respond in the right way, and that is to identify another player of similar quality and get that deal done. And at the moment, they're doing it, and those players are performing. We're top of the league. We're 5 points clear with a game in hand, and I think we're having a phenomenal season. But it is something that, for me, I think the more we progress and the more this process develops and we become a league-winning team, a Champions League side, I think it will become more imperative moving forward that we secure our top targets. That's just my opinion.
Now, Gia, I hear all of that, man, and I agree with.
Nigel, I'm gonna let you answer it. Go on.
But like for me, the players that we've missed out on and how we've missed out on them, I'm not as alarmed as you just yet, because like Vlahovic, I never thought he was coming anyway. We weren't in the Champions League guaranteed there, and Juventus was right there. It's really comfortable. Best team in the league that he's currently playing in at the time. Do you get what I'm saying? So I understood that one. With the Martinez, what's his name? Ten Hag flexed his muscles. He's my boy from Ajax. The same thing with Zinchenko. Arteta flexed his muscles. That's why we beat some other clubs to his signature. Also, we did the same thing with Jesus. Arteta flexed his muscles there. That's why he chose us other than some of the other teams that were interested in him. Mudryk, I'm not upset with that at all for me, because I don't know if you remember, like, I think we did a show on my channel where I just talked about we could get 3 players for the same money as Mudryk, and look what's happened. We've got 3 players for under the money as Mudryk, and I don't doubt he's a talent, and he could go on to achieve great things because he looks like he's got a big ceiling. But the guy scored 5 goals in 5 seasons or something like that, or 4 seasons in Ukraine or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy money for that player. If it was like a Rafael Leao and we were bidding that type of money for him, I was like, I'd be pissed if we missed out because of a few million here and there. But Mudryk, I'm glad we pulled out that deal because I think it was way too much money and it would have set a bad precedent for us going forward in the transfer window. The issue I have with Caicedo is not that we didn't get him; it was that the whole fan base, including Arteta, knew we needed DM cover in it. That's why we tried to get Douglas Luiz last minute of the summer transfer window. So tell me how we've not already figured out a plan at the beginning of January to get a DM. Why are we all sweating thinking about Caicedo the last couple nights of the window? It doesn't make sense to me. That's what my issue is. Because if not, we could have gone for Caicedo first week of Jan. Brighton would have told us their stance. Okay, cool. We have 3 weeks to completely look at another DM. Do you get what I'm saying? Maybe we could have found something if we did it that way. Do you get me? But getting to Jorginho.
Depend on you, Nigel.
Sorry?
Just quickly, sorry, you can finish up. It's El Nene again. Remember, we didn't bid for summer until El Nene got injured. Then we went for Douglas Luiz. So I don't think we would have gone for a midfielder if El Nene didn't get the injury again in the January because we didn't go for one until El Nene was injured. They thought they was going to leave El Nene as the DM cover. And like in September or August, he caught the injury. And that's where we then went last minute for Luiz. And that's why we've gone for Caicedo. And it's interesting to me, we never released actual El Nene's injury until Jorginho got wrapped up because we all thought it was a hamstring. And it's come out as an ACL. So I feel they held their cards close because if everyone knew it was ACL, you might have to put another 5 million on top of that.
That's very true.
People listen, you see Arsenal,
that makes sense, you know.
You see Arsenal, they held it close to their chest because they didn't want that fee to go up. But they also knew, listen, the fans are not going to be happy. Let's sign Jorginho and
let's get. Now, but with the Jorginho one, as much as I think it's underwhelming to what we were expecting, I'm happy we didn't pay that stupid money for Caicedo because it's stupid. Let's not get into. I reckon we can get him for cheaper if we really want him in summer, personally. Yeah. Especially for how he's gone on.
A lot of money.
100%.
I was thinking
25 games in the Prem.
Come on, man. I have to admit, man, I was kind of thinking, let me scrutinize this dude, man, and see what actually he does to kind of warrant that kind of money. I'm like,
but Canners, don't let me lie to you. If we had bought him and we won the league, I would close my eye like this. I would close it.
It ain't my money.
Do you get?
It ain't my money.
Well, it's true. It ain't my money.
But it was too much. 100%. Yeah. But Jorginho has his own strengths. Like 100%. I think he's a proven winner. He's experienced. He gives us a different dimension, and I've stopped doubting Mikel, bro. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, I believe in my guy. Like,
coming from you, that's big.
Stop doubting the guy, bro. Like, how many times is he gonna prove man wrong for me to just say, you know what? Let me just give you. I'm not even gonna stress. I'm just gonna give you this. Like, I'm literally giving. Like Jorginho, I don't know how it's gonna work out, but I believe in Mikel. I'm set. He thinks it's gonna work, so whatever, innit?
Do you know the funny? He was linked with Jorginho last year, if you lot remember. I think it was last summer.
50 mil?
And I was more mad about it then than I am now, because this is where I think a lot of Arsenal fans are getting not confused with it, but everything we've done up till now has been about the project, the long-term plan, getting the right targets with the right fit, with age on their side, with sell-on factor, all of that, which we've done really well, is putting us in this position. This one, to me, isn't about 2024-25 season, not at 25-26 season. This is about 19 games from now till May to go and secure us either the title or the UEFA Cup. Like, whatever it is going to bring us. This is what this signing's about. So, and this is my argument with King. We can bring in another unknown player, because he started calling out some names from different countries we haven't seen in the Prem. Yes, they may have a massive ceiling and could be real potential good players, but we're taking a risk. And we've seen what's happened with Sambi and Tavares, their risk. Do you know what I mean? So bringing in someone like this who knows the Premiership, he's there. He might not start a game in the league all season, but what he does give you is that security. If he comes on, I'm more assured of him coming on than I am Sambi Lokonga. Do you know what I mean? And that's what his job is for these 19 games for me. It's not about, we go back to the long-term plan summer, but if we're in third place, I don't think we make this signing because we're not really pushing for it. We just got to secure top 4. I think we got enough to secure top 4 with what we got. Let's stick what we got and we go in the summer. Our target in the summer is completely different to our target now. We're in a position we never thought we'd be in. Actually, we need to react for a short term and then we go back to long term in the summer. Like, to me, it makes perfect sense. Would I want Caicedo? Yes. But at the moment, again, you take what you got and you move, innit? Like, we're in a good position.
I asked for 2 or 3 players. I asked for 2 or 3 players in January. They gave me 2 or 3. They gave me 3 players.
Yeah.
And left centre back, which I didn't even expect we were going to get, who can also double up as a DM. So that's beneficial. Like, for me, do you know what? I just thought about it.
I've got a question for you, Nigel. Nigel, let me ask you this question quickly. Just one sec. Do you think the fan base would react to the way we did if we didn't go in for Caicedo first? So if we just went Jorginho, put the money up and got him, do you think there'd be the outcry? Because I thought the outcry's only become because we bid for Caicedo, didn't get him, and then we moved to Jorginho, and it's just like, oh, we've missed out on him, we've got him again. I thought if we just went straight for Jorginho and said, El Nene's injured, we're bringing this guy in, I don't think anyone had nothing to say.
100%, you're right. Coupled with also how crazy Chelsea have been going and spending as well. Those two things together, I think they contributed to where the fan base is at. And if you look at the social media fan base, everyone's very like reactionary right now and doom and gloom. I was hearing Edu Out was trending and all sorts of things. I'm like, come on, they like when do you remember Arsenal signing 3 players in January? Please tell me.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
One max.
And what this January showed me is Arteta clearly believed without extra DM cover, they had enough. As you said, until El Neni got injured. So for me, that shows me that we wanted to go in for Rice. And if we'd got Caicedo, I don't think we would have extended that El Neni contract. Do you get what I'm saying? I think we would have just let him go and blah, blah, blah. But since we didn't get him, I think they're playing some chess with that a bit.
That'd be interesting how that plays out.
100%, right. Yeah, we'll definitely see how it goes. Now we've got Jorginho in, but we'll see. But as I said, let's again, the period of this is about, let's plan for the future. Let's predict the future. Let's see how Arsenal get on. So, right, let's plan this up. We're going to go we're coming into February. It's the 1st of Feb today. Here is your fixtures for February running along the bottom. We have Everton away this Saturday, I believe it is. Brentford at home. Man City at home. Aston Villa away. Leicester away. 5 games.
I'm not predicting beyond February, guys. I'm just letting you lot know now. I'm not predicting beyond.
No, you ain't got no choice. You're on the show.
It's a superstition of mine. I can't do it.
How are them fixtures looking for you? Because January was a hard time. After the World Cup, December, January was difficult for us. We had some big games in there. We come through only dropping points to Newcastle. Dropping 2 points. So every month we hear how Arsenal are going to get through that test, how Arsenal are going to get through this test. We've got Everton this weekend with a new manager, Sean Dyche, followed by Brentford, then City, Villa, and Leeds. As are coming to you first. Month looks. I don't think you find an easy month in the Premier League no more. This is the problem. But these teams that we've been meant to be beaten, we've been beaten. So what do you reckon we're gonna get, and what would you be happy taking out of that month?
I can't believe Everton, man. They killed me. They couldn't keep Lampard in
just one more game, bro.
One more game.
What we did with Oli last season, bro. I was fuming, bro.
You know what? It shouldn't be a difficult game, Everton away. However, you know what Sean Dyche has already said. He wants his players to give everything, basically, and then we'll go from there. So you can only imagine what the team talk's going to be, get in their face, blah, 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 blah. You know, Sean Dyche kind of approach to the game. So, and, you know, the Evertonians, you know, the fans, they're going to back him to the hill. You know, they haven't got no problem with the team. It's the board they got a problem with. It's going to be a heck of an atmosphere there. And it's just going to be cranked up. with their new manager. So I don't want to draw, but I can see a draw. Brentford, we should do. And I'm going to stick my neck out and say we'll do Man City as well. Villa and Leicester, I can't see. Look, they're all barring injuries. The away games are barring injuries for me. If we've got no injuries, we'll be fine. But I do think Brentford might be a bit tricky, but I think we can do Man City. We've been having
Brentford's tricky, but we do City.
Yeah.
Hey, Canners.
Yeah. Listen, the Emirates this season is a different place. It's serious. When the big teams come there now, there's such a palpable kind of like atmosphere there of expectation, and that transmits very well actually to the players. The players are feeding, the players and the fans are feeding off each other, and it's a beautiful place to be, and it's beautiful to kind of witness, the players interacting with the fans bringing the players up. And that's why I feel it's like if the atmosphere at the Emirates isn't like it is now, that 2-2 or that 3-2 against Man United would have been 2-2, or maybe a 2-1 to United.
Yeah, and you know what? A critical moment in that game, Canners, which in previous seasons the stadium presence might have let us down, is when Rashford scored the goal.
Yeah,
like that should usually silence the Emirates, innit?
Do you know what?
In previous seasons,
split second, it was
quiet for a second, and then when we restarted,
because we was like, rah.
Yeah.
Okay, where did that come from?
It
was like, boom, come on. Do you know what I mean? We've got this, blah, blah, blah. And lo and behold,
there's been a few periods like that in the season, like when Mitrovic scored that goal, when Saliba scored the own goal against Leicester, all these different times where
I've never witnessed anything like that.
At the Emirates, I've not anyway.
Oh, no, yeah, exactly. I've never witnessed anything like that. And the thing is I first noticed it on the 1st of Jan last year when we played Man City at home and we just lost that. That game we just lost, the 2-1. That was the crazy. Yeah. That was the start of it. That was the start, and they've just carried it on. And that's why I just feel that Brentford might be a trickier game than Man City. I think, as long as we've got party playing and we've got everyone firing all cylinders, I think we've got too much for City. Honestly, I do. And other games should take care of themselves.
And if Haaland acts
so just come back to this comment here.
Bobby Holding, bro. Get me.
For real. Big up Silver Fox in the building just quickly. He's saying the hard thing for the Caicedo deal was maybe Brighton just didn't want to sell. And we've seen it in previous years where subs just have enough of people taking their players and they just draw the line and say this one's not going. Like, just to hold a bit of power because they're getting in the habit of people just coming. Arsenal especially, like, we've taken 2 from there. Chelsea are taking a few from there. You got Mitoma who's on form, so they're probably saying, hold on, we need to show a bit of resilience in the market, so then we can, if we sell in the summer, we can hold a bit of value on these players because they probably can't afford to lose enough money. And he's saying they can also go for Europe. So yeah, very good point, Silver Fox.
Do you know what?
He's saying he's shocked Everton made no signings. Well, Everton tried to, didn't they? And Tottenham dealt with that for them. So yeah, best. But what we're gonna do, because we're gonna keep moving. We're not gonna keep dwelling over it. Canners, give me your score. What points you reckon we're gonna get?
Let me do
in
February.
Feb. We're talking.
Let me do Feb.
Nah, you can't have it. Nah. All right, Nigel, you go first for Feb. I'm gonna be nice. You go nice first for Feb.
Thank you.
Give us your score, and then we might adjust it between the forwards. We have to come up with a points total, and what we're gonna do at the end of each month, we're gonna score it up, and at the end of the season, we're gonna score it up, and we're gonna see what we for Arsenal are gonna get into the season, whether that's enough. So. Yeah,
crazy. What are you making me do out here,
but Nigel's gonna score. You're involved. You know I'm a game show host at heart, so.
Mate.
All right, Nigel, go on.
All right, so
the games are below. We got 15 points.
I'm gonna go
to pick from
with 13, and the game I think we're gonna drop the point is gonna be Aston Villa away. We'll win every other game.
Ooh. 13.
Unai Emery might come 13? And disrupt.
Is that too high or too low?
What for February?
Yeah, so Everton away, Brentford at home, City at home, Villa away, Leicester away.
No, I think we're going to win all 5. I think we're going to get 15 points.
Wow.
Everton are absolute trash. Daesh,
I just think Unai Emery. That's why.
Daesh will come out, but as soon as we put our techers on them, they're going to fall apart. We just got to get an early goal. You get an early goal, Everton. No matter what Daesh is saying, Everton heads will drop. All that doubt will start creeping into their minds, and they'll collapse. Brentford we spanked away, so we'll spank them at home. Man City, we were man for man, just as good, if not better, when we last played them with a rotated side. So we're going to beat them at home. Villa, I've not been impressed. And Leicester are absolute trash like Everton. So 15 points, 5 games, 5 wins.
Strategy.
I love that. Just before I come to you, Canners, Temi, stay tuned because we will be talking about the guy Balogun later today. So stay tuned. At the end of the score roundup, we're going to touch on this guy. Balogun. It's a gunman accent. You hear me? Balogun.
Brilliant.
Only the gunman gets. Canners, what are you giving me for your score? For your prediction of Feb?
13.
13. So we've got 2 for 13. G-Talk said 15. We're settled on 13 then. We don't know when that draw is going to come, but we're saying we're going to drop points.
I won't be mad with 11, but I reckon 13.
Hey, guys. It all depends on what we do at Everton. If we win at Everton, I'm telling you now on the Armoury TV, Arsenal will win in the league, bro.
We're smashing Everton.
We're winning. If we win at Everton, we're winning the. Bro, I'm just letting everyone know because there's a reason for this. Don't get it twisted. There's a reason for this. Obviously, coming after the City game, everyone's been talking. We missed out on a couple of transfer signings. If the guys just show they haven't let their heads drop, go get a convincing result at Everton. It just shows me what these guys are all about. They're on their mentality is just different. Obviously, Jorginho coming into the camp. I've heard the squad are very excited about having the experience of Jorginho, and I've heard a few rumors about that stuff. And I just think we'll just push on. And it's his opportunity to get his hand in the Premier League trophy as well. Had to come to the red side of London to make that happen for himself. So we win on Saturday. Title is coming to the carpet. Remember, you heard it first. Oh yeah, no.
I love that. And what you're saying, right? It's like the players. The players ain't hearing all the white noise on the outside, are they? Every time it's Arsenal got a test, they're saying, all right, cool, we'll show you. Oh, Arsenal lost the game. Can they bounce back? All right, we'll show you. Every time there's been a challenge set down, they stepped up. Like, Jesus isn't fit. They're going to crumble. We're still here. So I'm with you, Nigel. But I feel I'm going to talk after the City game. That's what you might hear from me. Right, so we've locked the points. Is everyone happy with 13 points, yeah? Obviously, G-Talks, you're the only one that thought 15, but you're happy to accept 13. We're going to go 13. We're going to March.
13, I'm over the moon anyway.
Yeah, we go into March. We start away game at Bournemouth, away game at Fulham, home game to Palace. It's a shorter month. I take it we probably got European fixtures in there. I don't know if there is international break or something in there, but it's a shorter month. Again, FA Cup may get scheduled in that moment as well. Obviously, we're out of that, so that's a little bit of a rest for us. But I do presume there'll be European games in there, European and maybe FA Cup. That's
because the last game in March in the Prem is the 18th of March, so there must be some kind of
international break. Yeah, so it's a short month. 3 games: Bournemouth away, Fulham away, Palace at home. G-Talks talk me through. Actually, no, you kind of spoke earlier. G-Talks, you talk me this one. Nigel, you could talk on the next one. Talk us through that.
I'm not saying the point score for the last one. I'm not saying.
All right, cool. I'll give you that.
Listen, you see, like, at the end of the day, there's no easy Premier League games. There's no easy Premier League month. At the end of the day, I can only go by what I've seen in the first 19 games and how this team's performing. So I've got confidence in my side, 100%. Bournemouth away, I think we'll win. That's 3 points in the bag. Fulham away, I mean, I've been very impressed.
Bournemouth away, Bournemouth at home. Bournemouth at home.
Yeah.
Bournemouth at home. Yeah. Oh, my bad. I edit that.
I thought we beat them away, but at home,
we did 3-0.
It's not even going to be a contest.
You're right.
Yeah, it's not going to be a contest at home. Us being at home to Bournemouth. In terms of playing away at Fulham, out of all the teams I've seen this season, maybe bar maybe bar Newcastle, Fulham have probably been the other team I've been most impressed with or surprised with in terms of like how their season's gone. I've watched them and they've pretty much outclassed some really, really top sides, particularly, at their home ground. So I think that one could potentially be a draw. I mean, at the beginning of the season, if you said to me, away to Fulham, we've got a draw, I'd probably be a little bit disappointed. At the same time, you might think being top of the league, a point away to Fulham is disappointing, but I don't think it is. I really don't believe that dropping points to teams that are in around the top 6 is going to decide whether we win or don't win the Premier League. It's going to be all the other results. So just like we dropped points at home to Newcastle, away to Fulham, if we walked away with a 0-0 or a score draw, I'd take it. Palace at home, again, first game of the season where we weren't even really in full flight. We absolutely dismantled them. So I don't see any reason why, given our home record and our current form, that we won't beat them. So for me, I'm predicting 7 points from those 3 games.
Okay. Canners, give me your score then. 7 or you going for a full flush 9?
I'm going for a full house, man.
Canners still there. Full house.
I'm here, man.
Joy, I hear G talks for the Fulham game. I hear G talks for the Fulham game. But again, I feel when we played them, we wasn't at our fluent best. So we kind of stumbled over the line in that game. And I don't... We look a lot... Don't get me wrong, they would have improved over time. We've improved massively since then. But it is an away day.
Do you know what? It's the way we play, man. It's just...
beautiful. Yeah.
It's such a well-oiled machine. Everyone knows exactly where they're supposed to be. The passes we make from Ramsdale, from Saliba, from Gabriel, there's a reason for each pass. There's a reason. And when you watch it, you can see it. And then when you see players get manipulated out, then, man, that's why, for me, I can see why we bought... I know I'm going back again to Jorginho, but I can see why we've got him, because there's no other player in our team that can do anything near what Partey does with the ball as soon as he picks it up from either Ramsdale, Saliba, or Gabriel. No one can pick a pass like him. No one can be kind of press resistant in the sense that, give me the ball, I don't give a damn if someone's right up behind me. I will manipulate it, or I'll drag him out so we'll have an extra man or an overload somewhere else. Every time Nani gets the ball with someone behind him, I'm shook. Same thing with Sambi. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why, for me, Jorginho makes that bit of sense. Of course, you know what? It's a risky kind of like play, but we're too good for those kind of teams, man. We maneuver them.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, seriously, man.
I love it.
Yeah, when you
that's
why I say bring back the tactical genius that is Gumsa for his show. We need a breakdown, coach.
But it's coming soon. But let me give you what Canners is. Canners is talking from privilege in the stadium week in, week out. It's a different feeling when you're in there, like Canners is at the moment. So, and again, you're seeing it, because sometimes you watch it on TV, you feel it's closer than it is, but when you actually dissect it and go through it again, you realize actually like we're dominating teams. And this,
because the thing is, you can see there, but you can also look at the other end, and you can see the movement of Nketiah, and you can see the movement of Saka. You can see what it does, and that's why, for me, I said it on another stream or whatever, that for me, Saka is now world class. He's our one true world class player we've got in that team. That no one can dispute. Yeah, no, world class.
I'm saying. 100%. Let's bring back Gunslingers next week, Canners. We can talk on all these subjects here. We've got a lot to talk about. Canners is 9 points. You're not getting away from it. What are you saying, 9 or 7?
Well, I don't know how many points we're going to accumulate in this month. But what I do know is, for me, this is gonna be our most difficult month.
What?
And the reason why I say that is because, just like this time last year, we had the Southampton, the whatever, and we lost those 3 back-to-back games where everyone expected us to kind of win. So it's going to be, Brighton, at that point, at that point, I do believe it will still be 5 points because we would have beaten City and we would have the mental exhaustion would have started to maybe kick in. And obviously with Europa League coming back as well, it's going to be a mentally challenging month for us, I do believe. And if we can get through that month unscathed, then boy, the title run continues, isn't it? That's all I'm saying.
So, Niger Sunak, you ain't give me a score. You went a long way around not giving me a score.
Superstitions will not allow me to look past this current month, innit? I can't.
Leave him, man. I can see it in his face, boy. He's scared. He's shook.
There's three of us. He wants to say 7, but he ain't giving it to me. But I tell you what, we're gonna go over 9 points. So G-Talks, I'm sorry. It's another time we overlook your scoreline. It's like I'm not rating you at all, but bro. I really do.
Take
I agree with Canners. For me, I think if they say champions, yeah, you know when they say champions, they're the games you have to win. And I feel we have to.
Yeah.
In order for us to want to do what we want to do, we have to win them points. I can't even look at a draw in them 3. So
we
right, we move on. We're going to April.
Let me not lie to you.
This is.
Yeah, we have to. Right, we move on to April. Talk about it, but I know you're not going to give me a score.
Oi! I thought that last month was tricky. God.
Now Leeds is at home. Leeds is at home.
Yeah, it's not nice.
This is a very tricky month, you know.
Leeds is at home.
Raw.
Liverpool's away.
Leeds at home.
All right, so yeah, Leeds at home.
Them yes, you're right.
Liverpool away. Yeah, you're right. So do you know what? The most important fixture is the 2 away fixtures: City away and Liverpool away. Liverpool away because it's kind of the last. It's one of the hoodoos we still have on our back going to Anfield, getting slapped 2-3 on a regular basis. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's one of those other hoodoos we need to get off our back. And that's something we've been very good at this season. Anyone that's tried to dunk on us, we've come back and dunked on them second time round, isn't it? So this is going to be tough. And it also is going to determine where we are if we're still in the Europa League. Bro.
By the way, I'm going to say it on here now.
This month is scary, bro.
I don't know what you guys want to do. You can fight amongst each other, but on the 22nd against Southampton, I won't be here. Some of our seats up for grabs if anyone wants it.
Jeez. Probably box
Shotgun.
seats, guys.
Shotgun. You heard it
live. Mate, I don't know. This month is
free Amazon.
Bro,
a free Prime drink.
Mad month,
ready for me.
Yeah, you get your free Prime drink and everything. Yeah. Them ones. But yeah, oh man. Listen. Liverpool, West Ham away. Even West Ham away, you just don't know because I hope that West Ham are home and dry and don't give a damn. They're at a nice, 12th place, not going down, resting players for the Conference League, that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? I want them to progress in the Conference League, so they're all right in that. So,
is it weird that it's the Chelsea game I'm least worried about in that month? Is that weird?
Nah, do you know what? By then, they might have gelled.
Yeah.
Bro, Chelsea are our bitch, man. I'm not scared of them anymore, bro.
Jeez.
I hear that.
Problem.
I hear that. Man. But we need a score. Canners, let's get a score. For me, in this month here, I feel we're going to drop points, but the most important is we don't lose to City.
Yeah.
That, for me, is the most important thing, because what we don't want is them to gain us. That comes like the dreaded 6-pointer as such. For me, you go there, you have to draw that game, because you don't want them. You're in time. It's a scary one. So,
yeah.
Right.
And I just don't see if we take
scores.
4 points.
I'll go
City,
first. Nah, who went first? Nigel, you're not giving me a score. So G-Talks, give me a score.
Right, Leeds at home. That's 3. Liverpool away is a draw. For West Ham away 3. That's 7 points. Southampton home win. That's 10 points. City away, I think we'll lose, and then we'll beat Chelsea. So I'm going for 13 points out of a potential 18. I I can see us. I can still see. I think regardless of how Liverpool have played, going to Anfield and getting a draw is a phenomenal result. And by then they might have quite a few of their players, back. And at the end of the day, Liverpool are not going to go down without a fight. They're having a horrendous season at the moment, but they still got quality players, and on the day they can hurt us.
100.
So I honestly feel like we're good enough to get a draw. We're good enough to beat Liverpool at Anfield, but I don't think we will. I think we'll drop points at Anfield, we'll get a draw, and I think we will lose away to City. I just have that feeling. I think we beat City at home, and I think City beat us at their place. Playing City at the Etihad is completely different. So yeah, for me, 13 points from a possible 18.
Canners, any pushback on that? Are you happy with 13?
I'll go 14. I think I think we win against Liverpool. That's it, done. That's my period of when I say that we won the league. Yeah, we win at Liverpool. We won that league. So and we'll beat Leeds, Liverpool, West Ham, Southampton, and we'll draw those two, the other two, City and Chelsea.
See, I like your optimism. I got a side with G talks on this one. I think I would have potentially lower.
I get it. City will be a big game.
13.
The thing is, though, if we beat Liverpool,
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
Even if not draw. If we beat Liverpool at Anfield, that's it. That's when I'm celebrating the league title. Can you imagine the players' chest winning at Anfield?
So Anfield, April, yeah? April
in Anfield.
For me.
To be fair, there's not much to go out
though. This is how you can tell Arsenal. This is how you can tell Arsenal fans are scarred though. We got some serious trauma, because we're top of the league by 5 points with a game in hand, and we're talking about April.
You are looking at me all shocked that I'm going about if we win Everton, we win.
I'm not saying that. I'm not going to say that it's mathematically done in April, but I'm just saying in terms of
that's when you're going to get the belief.
The momentum.
But
I'm telling you,
I can't believe it.
We've seen. Do you know how many times we've seen this movie, bro? We've seen this movie bare times, bro. So do you know what I'm saying?
I can't believe it until after Chelsea. I'll be real.
Director's cut. You get me?
Boy,
You know what?
Right, we're gonna stick with 13 points.
I actually hate this show. I hate
Exactly. So you see what I don't like.
Gumsa, man, what you doing?
Anything beyond a month, he's tempting too much here, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? He's asking us too many. I'm not nervous, bruv. I don't want to look past 1 month.
I'm fighting Niger next year, man. I'm one game at a time, Mr. Niger boy. Forget that, brother. You gotta come into the dark side. I'm not even bringing you on next year. But right, let's move on. So we're gonna go with 13 points in April.
I'm good with that.
Go with 30. Yeah. I'll be happy with that. I'll be real. That's a nasty month. We're gonna move into May. We got Newcastle away, Brighton at home, Forest away, Wolves at home.
Niger is struggling, man.
There is one more game to add in there, which is an Everton game. Hasn't been rescheduled yet, so we add that later. So, G Talks, take us away. G Talks, take us away with that month. What are you predicting? Tell me the difficult one. And
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at Newcastle, Brighton.
Everton will be at home.
Newcastle. I mean, I get what Nigel's saying because it all depends on what happens the month prior.
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, the months ahead, but I can only go by what I'm saying now. Newcastle away is going to be a tough game. I can see us potentially losing that. I've got to back my boys and say we beat Brighton at home. As good as Brighton are, I mean, we pumped 4 past them in the last game. Don't get me wrong; it was a little bit ropey at the end, but I think at home we got to back our team. Nottingham Forest are going to be there or thereabouts in the relegation fight. I'm kind of hoping with the signings they've made they'll probably be sitting a little bit more comfy. I have them as one of the teams to stay up this season. I don't see them going down.
They just got slapped tonight, bro. Dead team.
Yeah, I know, but Man United, very, very different to the teams that they're kind of fighting in and around. So I kind of feel like away we would beat them. And Wolves, Wolves are just not the same team Wolves have been, in previous seasons. So I don't think we're gonna run away with this league title. We're going to lose games, and I think Newcastle away again is a potential game we could lose.
We owe them one.
I'm gonna say we lose to Newcastle. We beat Brighton, we beat Forest, and we beat Wolves. So I'm gonna go with 9 points out of a possible 12.
Yeah, I think the hard thing for this month is you never know where. Again, you got Forest and Wolves could be fighting for their life.
This is it.
We could have wrapped up by then. Do you know what I mean?
That's
so
why we shouldn't predict this
we
far.
might need. Actually, I'm not going to talk to her because we only needed one win a couple of years back to get top 4 and had 4 games to do it and didn't do it. Like we've been here a lot of times where we needed one win and then done it. Last season was the same going into that Tottenham Newcastle run. We needed one win. We're here again. So you got 9 points. Canners. Again, is it a 9 or 10 points? Is it one of them games where you can't win it but just don't lose it? Do you think we've got the mentality for that, or do you think Newcastle get the better of us? I'm not even coming down to Niger no more. You could just sit there and just help us get our views up by looking.
I think the Newcastle game comes down to momentum that we've got in the previous 2 games against Chelsea and Man City. It will come down to that. So that's bitch of 3 games, man. Man City, Chelsea, and Newcastle. You know what I mean? Potentially the title could be won or lost on those 3 games.
And then put Brighton in that as well. That's not an easy game.
Yeah.
4 was horrible.
We need to wrap up this thing, man, by then.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, you know when do you remember that guy at Old Trafford when we beat Man United 1-0? When Overmars scored, and that guy in the crowd was going, that's going to be Liverpool. That's our Liverpool game. Do you know what I mean? We will believe that nothing's going to stop us now, and I think that's going to be the game. I can't overstate that Liverpool game, man. That one for me is so important mentally. But going back to it, I'll be happy with 10 points. I reckon it just depends on the 2 previous games, man.
Yeah.
And just can't have any wobbles against Leeds, Liverpool, West Ham.
Do you know what I said? When I started to look at this, I said, this is so much harder than you think. You think once we played Tottenham twice, we played United twice. So you're thinking we got rid of those 2. Do you know what I mean? So it should be easier. But I looked at it, I thought, this isn't easy at all. Like, it does make you realize there's no easy game in the Prem. There's no easy game.
Yeah, do you know what? I'd say February and March, I think that's our cushy 2 months.
Hold on.
If you can call it
we got in February.
So we've got Everton, Brentford,
I know what you mean.
And City. Leicester City.
And Leicester. Yeah.
April's a madness.
I get what you mean. They're the ones you got, because that sounds easier than Brighton. Newcastle.
We've got to get all our eggs in our bag, boy, in February and March. We can't mess about.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, though, what we've got to go by right now is what we've seen so far. And what we've seen so far is a team that is mentally so much more stronger than they were last season. A team playing much better football. There's a lot of progression here. There's a lot of growth here, both kind of physical in terms of performance, but it's the mentality. It's the way we've gone away to difficult grounds and put in performances. It's the way, like, during game scenarios and situations, we haven't panicked, we stay calm, we've got results. Like, even when you look at the United game, when we lost at Old Trafford, seasons gone by, heads would have dropped. We would have gone on a run of like 2, 3, 4 games losing. This team at present have passed almost every single test that's come in front of them. So, you know what? It is difficult to predict what's going to happen over the next 19 games. At the same time, the first 19 games, they have been almost flawless. So we can only hope that we go on to perform in a similar vein, because I don't actually believe we have to be as good in the next 19 games as we've been in the first 19 to win this Premier League. I don't believe we do.
This is where the trauma kicks in that you was talking about, isn't it? Because we're looking at it and thinking, surely Arsenal can't keep doing this, and it's what everyone keeps saying.
I've just been zoning out, having flashbacks while you've not been talking.
Crazy thing is that this team is outperforming the Invincibles.
This is the challenge, though, and this is what Arteta will be telling them. This is the challenge. Week in, week out, you've got to go out there, you've got to perform. At the end of the day, last season, regardless of how we look at it, we bottled it. We did. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, this team is a lot stronger, man. Look at the personnel that are in this team. The likes of Zinchenko, the likes of Jesus. We've then got, people like Jorginho that have come into the side. You've got the leadership of Xhaka. It's not the same team. Like, brother, we have the trauma, but this is not the same team, bro. It's not.
And also, you got players like Trossard, who's been like a wasted golden generation in Belgium.
Bro.
Missed out on silverware because he had Martinez as his coach. He's 28 years old now, and he wants to get silverware.
Win something. You know what I'm saying? He wants to win something. Hungry.
And I'm sure Jorginho would love to leave the Premier League with the Premier League title as well. So there's mate, there's a lot of little stories to tell here, man. Yeah.
Do you know what the thing is that
I need a score. Hold on, before you continue, I need a score quickly. What are we saying for me?
You don't need anything, Gumsa.
One of you said 9, one said 10. Enough. All right, Nigel, what are you saying? Give me a 9 or a 10. That's what you got to do, 9 or 10.
He's finding this so hard,
9 or 10.
Gums.
9 or 10.
Gums.
You said 10.
You said
it. Hey, come on, guys, give me a score. You guys hear Gums, bro? Anyway, yeah, I'm not scoring, bro. It's too. I don't want to tempt fate too much, bro. I can't, bro. Look at me, bro. I can't, bro. It's too far ahead for me, bro.
We got none of the pressure for no reason.
Bro, the pressure is real. Not be joking. I beg. Stop.
I'll tell you, all Arsenal fans, we all need a course of therapy.
Brother, literally.
I'm gonna go 9 just because just in case there's a drop points, then it could balance out there. So I'll go with a 9. And then we got the last fixture, which we don't know when it's going to be scheduled in for, the home game against Everton.
Everton home. That's
a 3-pointer.
Has to be 3 points.
That's a 3-pointer.
That's a regular every season, bro.
All right, cool. Let's put this in.
Annual thing.
So we've got Everton 3 points. So let me bring the ticker up. This is what we've gone for. All right, so we're starting.
Guys, it's been a pleasure, guys.
50 points.
Cheers,
Nigel. Where are you going? Right, so let's go through. We've gone with Nigel's out. We're starting off with 50 points. From today, we're on 50 points. So in February, we believe we're coming out with 13 points. 9 points in March, 13 points in April, 9 points in May, and 3 points against Everton for whoever that game is. He's actually gone. He needs to come back. So we've got to talk Balogun. I'm going to shout him. So we've gone for Arsenal. Now, when we hear this, though, do you think it's too far-fetched? We've said Arsenal going to hit 97 points, which obviously is 3 points below what we've done in the first 19 games.
I think the thing with that
we've had the 2 games against Tottenham and we've had the 2 games against United in that. Whereas 2 games against Everton, 2 games against City.
And do you know what? If we can play the same 11 every single week, Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But things are going to change.
Yeah.
Suspensions, injuries, whatever it is.
UEFA Cup again might be some rotation and rest.
Exactly. It's just one of those ones. It's in a perfect world, the numbers that we've put up there will come to fruition, but we know that football isn't a science, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Right, you know what it is, I get it. Yeah, 100%.
It's 97 points.
At the same time, for me,
sorry, go carry on.
Yeah, for me, 19 games in, 50 points on the board. We're going into the next 19 games with actually a stronger squad than we did in the first 19 games. So for me, this is all about mentality. This is all about mentality. This is not about ability. We have the ability. We have the footballing ability 100%. There's no doubt. You know, we've seen this team, like I said, in 19 games in the Premier League, albeit for maybe a half of football here and there in a couple of games, we have dominated every single Premier League team we've played. This is not an ability issue. This, between now and the end of the season, if we lose the Premier League title, it will be based on mentality. It will not be based on ability. We've got the ability. Okay, if we turn up and we perform the way we've performed, we win the Premier League. The problem is if we allow the pressure to get to us and it gets in our heads and it affects our game, we will drop points, we will choke, and we won't win it. It's a mentality thing. Will be the difference between whether we can win this Premier League or not.
Bruv,
I love that.
Gee, you're giving me goosebumps, bruv. Seriously.
Yeah, but that is. Do you know? I'm gonna go back a little piece. Nigel, get back on the stream if you're listening, man. We've got to talk Balogun in a minute. But everyone, when you hear everyone talking, we've all seen City do it. City go on this run where they could snap 10, 15 wins back to back to back to back. And this is what Gary Neville's banking on, and he's banking on this run. That City game is so important because I watched the Tottenham game when they came from 2-0 down and they won 4-2, and I said, this is the start of it. This is now going to give them the belief, the momentum. It's that they needed a kick up the backside because they were winning 3, dropping points, winning a couple, dropping points, and they needed that kickstart. And I think that Tottenham first half gave them the kickstart, and we got them very soon. I think if we can stop them on that run, then I think it's over. It's them really in our hands. We could lose it, but that's if we lose it. I still think this is still in City's hands to a certain degree because they beat us twice, 6 points. Do you know what I mean? It now goes down to a 2-point lead, whatever it is. So to me, it's City aren't out of it yet. It's still in City's hands. But I think if we stop them when they're now kicking into steam, I think they are kicking into steam now. If we stop them early, that will have a crushing blow on them because I think they're banking on them now hitting that run from now. And I think if we can win that game, I think that really dents their mentality. As you will say, mentality is important. Do you know what I mean? They'll be feeling it now. We're ticking. They'll be looking at the Arsenal game saying, "Listen, we've got to hit them," because what that would do to our mentality. So I think if we reverse that, I think it's a major turning point. I think that game is all on that game, really. But yeah, G-Talks, go on.
But you know what? It's also I think a couple of things we also need to remember is that when you hear about the whispers coming out of this City, dressing room and camp, it's not all what it should be. Our team is completely unified. The harmony and the cohesion between our boys is absolutely solid. Okay, Pep is out here calling out his own team and his own fans, and yes, he's trying to get a reaction out of them, and yes, that might potentially give them the kick up the backside they need. But listen, this is not ideal for Pep. So as much as this is a high pressure situation, this is a very much a high pressure situation for Manchester City. He knows they're not performing the way they've performed in previous seasons. They don't have, even though they've got the best depth in the Premier League, they don't have the same depth that they had in previous years, where they could call on a Jesus and a Zinchenko and a Sterling back end of a season. They don't have the same depth. And the other thing you need to bear in mind is just the general hunger in this Man City side. I don't believe that this Man City side is as hungry to win this Premier League as they will be to win the Champions League. Pep Guardiola wants the Champions League. His team wants the Champions League. Right now, Cancelo left that club like that on deadline day. There are issues in that dressing room. There are issues at Manchester City. There are rumours Bernardo Silva wants out. There are rumours that Gundogan wants out, that Kyle Walker wants out. Listen, I'm telling you right now, as much as we're sitting here and we are suffering from somewhat of trauma as Arsenal fans, at the same time, I'm telling you, this City team has weaknesses. They have weaknesses in their performances and they have weaknesses in their dressing room. And Pep knows it. And that's why he's behaving the way he is. He is scared. Manchester City are scared. The media outlets are scared. And that's why you have all these narratives floating around. We need to be sitting pretty right now. We need to be confident. 100%. We need to be confident because I'm telling you, like, there is no reason why. There's no reason why we should be sitting here stressing out whether we can win this Premier League or not, because nobody gave us a single chance at the beginning of the season, and now we're top of the league with a game in hand. We beat Everton. We're 8 points above Manchester City. 8 points above Manchester City. So yeah, we can sit in, we can be nervous, but are those boys showing any nerves on the pitch? Nah, the ones that look nervous are City, mate, not us. So there's no reason for us to be nervous, Gooners. Let's go game by game. And you know what? For the first time, I'll say it. I believe this Arsenal team will win the Premier League. It's that simple.
Jeez. Listen, I had to go on a solo. I wish I did it earlier. Yo, Silver Fox, you were in the building. I beg you, hour mark, to start clipping it up because that's inspiring. I'm telling you, boy.
That's
Man's face was so emotional.
We've got to believe.
I saw a little Ice Cube in you when you were talking just now, man.
Yeah.
Just
We've got to believe.
But yeah, no, I'm with you on that. And like you're saying, it's true. I haven't heard Pep come out with some of the things he come out with, and it's a bit like you know the saying they have in boxing. It's very hard to do your 5 a.m. runs when you're coming out of silk sheets. And that's where City are with it, isn't it? They've been there, they've done it. We're on the grind. We haven't had our big payday yet, so we're happy to go and do it. We're out at 4:30 a.m. doing the runs. Do you know what I mean? Them lot at 5:15 are hitting the snooze, but I'm thinking, do I really need to go again? Like, we've done it all, and 100%. Do you know what I mean? I'm not writing them off, but
Man City might be money Mayweather. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. They have got the quality. They have got the quality. Do you know what I mean? There's no denying it. They can turn up on any day and beat anybody, but there does seem to be a little and Pep's openly come out and said it. I've never seen him like I've seen him in interviews this year. He's not happy. He's talking about Arsenal seem hungrier. They seem more. Do you know what I mean? There's little things we never thought I'd hear him saying.
That's him trying to rile up his team, isn't it?
Rile up his team a bit, but yeah, I see an interview the other day. He was rubbing up the top of his head at the start. He didn't know what to do, but yeah. Again, let's let them worry about them. We need to worry about Arsenal. We've got 97 points.
Thing though, because I know you're talking about mentality, right? Does the FA Cup result play into that in any way?
No.
I think that scares them more than it scares us.
Yeah,
I think we come out of there thinking, right, we rested 6 and we still gave them a game and was the better team for at least a half. They're going to turn around and think, fuck me, they rested 6 and they dominated us like that for half a game. Imagine when they put in boom, 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 boom. I think that has, even result being a result, again, we look at football as a result, 3 points. They look at football completely different. I know as a coach, I've lost games and been happier with what I've seen than when I've won games sometimes. I've won games and the boys have got runs to do and I'm blistering them because they didn't do what I expect them to do. And we've lost games and I'm saying, you lot was absolutely brilliant today. I couldn't ask for more. It was just unfortunate. We didn't score or one slip. It could be anything, cost us the game. So, yeah, I think we come out of that game a lot happier than they came out of that game. Because not saying they put their best on the pitch because you know Foden wasn't out there. Like, whatever.
Foden hasn't been playing anyway.
He hasn't played for a while, yeah. But it's for them to look around and say they didn't start with these 6 players. And they still didn't waver for the style of football. They didn't. Do you know what I mean? That's going to be quite telling. And then it's Craig AFC saying Zinchenko and Jesus know what it takes to win the Premier League title. The rest of the players in the squad don't. But this is the beauty of where we are. It's Zinchenko and Jesus are probably desperate for these boys to taste that victory.
Not only that, sometimes you go into it with no fear.
Right. And also, if you are Zinchenko and Jesus, who you may feel a bit disrespected how they've been treated because they've never been the mainstays in that team. Do you know what I mean? Like Zinchenko, he was a top left back, but if Cancelo was fit and Walker was fit, them two were the 2 starters. So he may feel a little disrespected. Jesus always got pushed around the place. I'll go sit on the right because Aguero is here. Do you know what I mean? So again, it's for them to turn around and say, we left you, we took this team that finished 5th and we took them to a title. You lot underestimated what we brought to that Man City dressing room. You all spoke about De Bruyne, about Company, Silva, them lot. You lot never spoke about us two. And look what we've got and done. So I think that gives them an extra incentive, and maybe even for the Arsenal players to say, actually, yeah, let's. Do you know what I mean? I think it's again everything is pushing us to this direction to say there's so many little subheadings in there to say like it'd be brilliant if we win it for these two. If he wins it, Saka went from Luke missing the penalty. There's so many different areas you can look at it. Yeah, there's so many. So yeah, it's going to be brilliant. It's going to be brilliant. I'm looking forward to the run, and I'll be real. Every game I'm going to be nervous, but at the same time, I'd much rather be fighting for what we're fighting for now than what we have been in previous years. So you got to enjoy it while you can.
The thing is, the only thing I say, which is probably a good thing, is as much as it hurt us last year not making Champions League, it's probably a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Let those players feel that defeat.
You learn more from defeat.
Feel the pain of not, just not quite getting there.
Yeah.
Feeling that to come into this season to say, I ain't going through that again.
That's it, man. I mean, we don't have. There's no more motivation for these players than what happened last season. There literally is. That you don't need any more motivation. And I just feel like we have the right blend of young players that are hungry, that were somewhat disappointed in themselves, with a sprinkle of mentality monsters and quality that we've added in the summer. And I'm confident. At the end of the day, it's like we could go on a poor run and we could lose the Premier League. We're gonna finish top 4, but it can happen. That's football. So it's not about we win the league, we won't win the league, we can win the league, we can't win the league. At the end of the day, we can only judge a team based on what we've seen so far. Anything can happen in the next 19 games. But if you base it on what's happened, this is not an accident. It's not like some kind of error here. We've been the best team in the Premier League across 19 games. We are deserving of being at top of the league. It's a fact. Yeah. We can lose games. We can get injuries. City can lose games. Let's not forget, they got beat by Brentford at home 2-1.
You never know. Tottenham might do something.
This is what I'm saying.
At the weekend, you never know.
Everton, managerless Everton until they got Sean Dice, drew with Man City at the Etihad. So, yes, we can drop points, but this City team has dropped points. Hence, we are 5 points ahead of them. So, I don't understand why there's this whole narrative of we're going to throw it away and we're going to drop points and City are going to go on this crazy run. Like, I don't... Yes, that may happen, but there's no guarantee that's going to happen. This is all if, buts, and maybes. That's
again, it comes down to... It does come down to that history repeating itself, and that's where people... But that's fine. Again, it is what it is. But what this team's showing us is this is a different team to last year. It's a different team to 5 years ago. This team now 100%. Is different. So we have to give them their credit. And that's what I feel, me, myself included, but a lot of pundits aren't judging this team on this team. They're judging this on previous Arsenal. And that's where I think that's where they may be going wrong. We have to give this team the utmost respect. So just quickly, I want one word answer from each of you. We've tallied up our points. It's a simple yes, no. Are we going to win the league? Canners, yes or no? And no Nigerian, Englishman, Rishi Sunak beat around the bush. It's a simple one-word answer, please. Yes or no?
Oh, man. Yeah.
You're giving us 97 points. It's got to be, isn't it?
You got to do
I love
man.
it.
We're going to do it, man. We're going to do it. Our home form will see us through.
G Talks, what are we saying? We winning this thing? Yes or no? Please?
Yeah, we're gonna win the league this season.
I believe that. And he's calm with it. I love that. I love that.
100% believe it, and it's because of what this team has shown me, and that's all I can go on. I can't predict the future, but all I can do is make a rational and logical decision based on what I've seen. And there isn't a pundit, outlet, or fan in English football that can tell me any team has been better than Arsenal across the first 19 games. So on that basis, we can win and we will win the league.
And if we take it back a bit further, I know we keep going on, Canners. I know you got to shoot, but please bear with me. I'm just going to say this and we'll move on. But if you look at the calendar year of 2022, we was third in points gained in the Premier League. And that's with the World Cup ending that 2022 early. So imagine if we moved, say, 5 games... Just say you took the World Cup out, you moved them 5 games we just played before Christmas, put them there, the way we dealt with that, we would have moved above Liverpool, which means we're the second highest points. So this isn't a brand new thing. 2022, we've been very good. We had that slight little dip where someone said earlier is injuries. Tierney and Partey injuries is what killed us in that running. But on a whole, if you look at 2022 on a whole, so where we should be, but because the season split up, it doesn't look like we've got to remember before we went on them runs, we was struggling before Christmas. Do you know what I mean? So when you put it in perspective, it's not just a 19 game thing. Actually, if you look at the calendar year, we've been very, very good. And we've gone on. So I'm with you, G Talks. I'm with you. I'm saying as well. I think we do it because, like you said, not just Arsenal. 97 points. When I would put it down, looks a bit far fetched, but that's City have to put the points on the board as well, and City have been struggling to 100%. Do that of late. And that could be the difference. So whether I win it with 75, 85, 95, I don't give a damn. If that trophy comes to Arsenal, you lot can talk all you want to talk. City weren't good, Liverpool weren't good. You lot could have done. You lot could have won it.
I don't give a damn.
Teams weren't good.
You see the trophy.
You lot could have gone and won it. You know what I mean? That's all that matters. But
listen, if Spurs fans can come on air and say they're going to win the league based on signing Richarlison, then we can say we're going to win the league based on being the best team in the country after 19 games, yeah? So, 100%. Yes, I am saying, based on what I've seen, we will win the league.
100%. Right. I love it. Right, let's move on. The man of the moment in France. Let's get on to this guy. Tamiola, big up yourself. And he wants us to talk about Balogun. And I hope you waited in the comments, Tamiola, because we did say about 40 minutes ago, we will get to it. But yeah, guys as well. Yeah, thank you everyone who's commented. I see Craig AFC, I see CHB in the building. They were loving your talk earlier. They were loving your inspirational speech, G Talks. Silver Fox always in the building. Moss and the rest of you, Bobby. Big up everyone. But yeah, let's talk about the guy Balogun. He's just hit another hat trick, or not another hat trick. He's just hit a hat trick. He's scoring more goals, scoring for fun in the French league. This is why it's important that these players get their loan spell. What does this mean for Balogun when he next season? Loan again, sell him, keep him. Canners, what you doing with Balogun? And it's just impressive what he's doing at the moment, isn't it?
That's tough, man. That's tough because the thing is, he's gone out and he's doing really and truly what he's been challenged to do, which is score goals. Go out there, score goals. Let's see what you got. Come back, a player with more experience, as per Saliba. What Saliba's done, at Marseille. Have a great season, tear it up, and you know what? We'll talk when you come back. We integrate you into the squad, and it goes from there. It'll be interesting to see him how he does integrate come pre-season when he comes back. How he does work with the team, but this is exactly how to deal with and how the loan system should work. You send players out there that that you don't want to sell. Okay, you have no intent because you know that there's something in them, but they need games. And this is exactly what's happening. I reckon Arteta is probably saying to himself, this ain't no surprise.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
He just needed time, didn't he? Sometimes you need to get away from the headlights of Arsenal. And again, it's not just Arsenal, it's Chelsea, it's Liverpool, it's City. These big clubs, you need to go elsewhere, play football where you're not at risk. If you have a bad game,
put your head down
again for 5 weeks.
Get on with your work.
Yeah, go and play. Because there's been games he hasn't scored, do you know what I mean? But he still starts the week after, and that's important at that age, do you know what I mean, to get that run of games. I'm just going to put up some numbers here because it is impressive reading. He scored 14 goals. He's got 1 assist. He's played 20 games. His goals per minute, or goals per 90, is 0.84 goals every 90 minutes, which is better than Mbappe's, is 0.79. So me seeing him being top goal scorer, I thought maybe Mbappe's not playing.
Wait 1 second. Here's the thing. Here's the funny thing, and this is no joke on that. What team's he with?
Reims, and that's also important to announce.
I don't even know.
Yeah. He's the main man. I know Mbappe will have to share his goals around. Neymar's going to take some.
Wait 1 second. Isn't Reims the one that's got that young manager?
Young gaffer? Yeah, the manager who's not got his A license. Yeah.
And he only got it. He's from playing Football Manager.
Yeah.
Flipping heck. That's
he's
deep.
doing bits. Let me continue with these stats quickly before I bring G-Talk in. So his mins per goal, for every 108 minutes he scores a goal. Mbappe's is 113 minutes. Included in that, Mbappe's had 58 shots and Balogun's had 49. So the goal conversion rate is Balogun is 29% and Mbappe's 22%. And now, this is not me saying he's better than Mbappe, not in the slightest. He scored quite a lot of penalties. He scored a penalty again today. But
put it in perspective,
it's impressive reading.
Mbappe has Messi and Neymar flanking him,
and Di Maria behind. Hakimi on the right, in right back.
Yeah. Hakimi on the right.
Mad.
G, talk us about this guy and what do you do with him next year, and how impressed have you been with his loan spell?
This is the thing, and I don't want to upset you, Gumsa, but obviously it's history now. But at the time when there was the whole contractual talk of Eddie and Balogun, I mean, I was in the camp of like letting Eddie go and keeping Balogun, but Eddie's gone on to kind of shut me up, which I'm happy about. With regards Balogun, I mean, I just looked at him and just thought, like, I just always fancied him in terms of him being a good player. I just saw something about him.
He looks like a striker, isn't it?
Yeah, he just has this X factor, this swagger about him, this kind of a touch of arrogance and confidence that he has. He just has that presence like a player. But he definitely needed a loan, and it's great that we put him on loan. And boy, oh boy, is the loan system doing wonders for us right now. I mean, there is that temptation, which a lot of Arsenal fans are saying, this is the perfect time to cash in on him. I completely disagree. I mean, in this market where a player, how much does it cost to buy a player that's going to get you potentially 15 to 20 league goals a season?
Let's sum this up. Darwin Núñez, his numbers was good numbers in a strong Benfica team. He got £100 million move. Now, I'm not comparing our guys to these guys, but he's doing it for real. And it's a similar level league, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But he's in a lot weaker team than what Darwin Núñez is in. And you saw what Darwin Núñez, what that cost. And we've seen players leave this team and for big money. Like Benfica hold, they get good money for their players, to be fair, anyway. So if we was to sell, what we talking? Because I know off air we was talking some good numbers. I like to hear.
This is what I'm saying. It's like you've got to bring him back. His contract doesn't end till 2025. You've got to bring him back. You've got to assess him, and then you've got to make a decision. And that's why I was saying to you both that, listen, maybe Jesus, he's a great player. We can't forget what Jesus has done to this side, because it's easy as Arsenal fans. Sometimes we get a little bit kind of recency bias and we say, oh, we got Eddie banging, we got Balogun banging. Who needs Jesus? Jesus absolutely elevated this team and he does a lot for this team. So, but that's why I said off air that maybe Jesus needs to tap into his versatility, because right now, at the end of the day, come next season, Eddie could go on to get 15, 20 goals. We've got Jesus who's back and fit. But then we've also got the problem with Balogun. For me, it's not a decision to say, oh, you sell Eddie or Balogun. Why? Why do we have to? You've got Jesus who can play across the front three. It might just mean that for everybody crying out to buy that additional forward, we don't need to buy it, because we've got Jesus that can fill the three front positions, but we've also got a ready-made centre forward that's coming back to the club from the French league. For me, at the end of the day, we're talking about Darwin Núñez, £100 million transfer. Anthony Gordon just left Everton having done nothing, and he went for 40 million plus £5 million add-ons. If Balogun, based on what Balogun has done just now, he, for me, in this inflated market, forget about what he's actually worth. In the market we're in, he's worth at least 50 to 60 million as of now. Simple. And people may laugh at that and say, oh, that's ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. He is playing for a mid-table French side, not around world-class players, and he is outscoring some of the best players, arguably in world football. And then we're supposed to say, oh, but because it's a one season, it's a purple patch, he should be worth like 15 million. No, he shouldn't. He should be worth right now on the basis of what he's doing, he is worth 50 to 60 million. If he goes on to then score 25 to 30 league goals or goals in a season, there is no way there's no way you can sell that player just like that. If anybody that would even consider that is absolutely crazy. And like I said in the WhatsApp group, there's only a few teams in world football that are really going to pay a big fee. You know, when you look at the likes of PSG, they might be looking at him. You look at the likes of Real Madrid, they might look at him. But really and truly, if you want to get big money, you've got to sell to another Premier League side. Do we want a player with that potential of a 20, 25 goal a season to sell him to another Premier League team? I don't think so. We bring him back to Arsenal, we assess him, and we keep him. And it just means that we might have to rejig our plans for a winger in the summer.
It's a great
talks, bro. You've been killing. Listen, this is next week. We got to go again. Canners G Talks, I'm putting it down now. Next Wednesday, I'm seeing you, man, again, 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock.
I told you at the top of the show, Gumsa, man. I'm amongst royalty here. I'm like,
the way this guy goes, yeah, he gets me, bro. I'm itching right now, but I'll be real. But no, I G Talks, I'm telling you, I totally agree with what you're saying. And again, we're too much about wanting to just get rid of players too quick all the time. James, you're guilty of this. James Tierney's had half a season of not starting. The man saying, "Get him out, let's go again." I'm saying, so slow down a little bit. Innit? Like, just take time. Definitely with Balogun. Like, what Eddie and Nketiah played off the left a little bit, and he looked good last year off the left as well. I don't remember if you remember pre-season, him and Jesus on the pitch at like half an hour together. We're linking up something special. He was on the left. We've seen Jesus play on the right. Again, he's still a young guy, this Balogun. So he's got to fight, almost like Eddie's doing right now. Eddie had to sit still for half a season and just be happy with what he got. And all of a sudden, he's been given an opportunity, and now man's taking it. Where we're talking about, does Jesus come straight back in? Like, what are we doing with this? Do you know what I mean? So, again, Balogun's got to be patient. I would accept a loan for Balogun, but it would have to be the right loan. And when I talk about the right loan, I mean he would have to go to one of the big leagues, so Italy, Spain, or England, and play for a big club. So if someone like AC Milan said, look, I want to take him on loan, he's my main striker, because obviously we see Giroud's aging and that, I would be tempted to do that just because he's going to get week in, week out at that next higher level. But for me, selling this guy, but again, if I do that loan, he got to sign an extra 3-year contract, Balogun. 100%. Like, I'm not letting you go out there without signing this contract. You got to tie yourself down for the next 5 years at Arsenal. Then I'll let you do what you need to do for a year or two.
Do you remember this time last year, right?
He held us to ransom.
Just before the January window shut, or during the January window, right? We were screaming, we need a striker, isn't it? Because we only had Lacazette, right? And Aubameyang wasn't doing anything, and blah, blah, blah. And we was looking at all these strikers that we could go for. Vlahovic, Isak, Jonathan David. You know, listen, he's doing Jonathan David things, right? And how much was Jonathan David quoted? It was at the very least, 50 to 60.
Yep.
Right? Balogun is killing that league right now. And the thing is, I think you're right. We need to, first and foremost, I think we need to time down. Obviously, he would want assurances or whatever, but I think we do need to time down. If we've got an option in his contract to extend it beyond 25, then that gets triggered. Maybe another loan or whatever. I don't know. But listen, this guy is building, and he's growing. And just a big up to Omondi, man. I know he's in the chat there, man.
We're gonna get to his comments in a minute. So we'll run through some comments.
Man. Listen. This guy, he's that guy. But his foundation, man. I love him, man. So yeah,
even what you're saying, and sorry, Candace. What James is saying here, crazy how we probably got the two best under 23 English strikers, and I don't know what everyone else is holding. Like Dane Scott looks like a talent, and there's players out there, but these two are kind of coming into their own now. They're playing first team, they're doing it at first team level. And if you look at, we've gone through it, how hard it is to find a striker in this market at the moment. There's not many out there. So the fact we've got Jesus and Nketiah is now coming into his own, whether these guys are going to be international players or not, and then Balogun coming up behind, like, we're in a very good position because we've seen it with other clubs around. United just had to sign Weghorst, and he's going to be a good signing for them, but they're still in the market for a striker. They've been searching for a good few years. You know what I mean? Chelsea can't seem to get the right person. They spent 100 on Lukaku. How much on Werner? How much on Kai Havertz? They've been buying up the place. So it's not easy to find strikers. So to felt we got 3 all at a good age. Like Jesus is what, 20 under 25, 25 or under? Like we might not need to look in that striker market. Okay, so still a good age. We might not need to look in the striker market for 5 to 7 years. We can now go and get the rest of the squad done if we need to. Like we're in a good position. The hardest thing I think is just keeping all 3 of them happy. But to me, we're short on the right wing. Like whether Nelson steps up and makes it, I don't know. But we've only got Saka out there, so it could be an easy fill where Nketiah spends time out there, or Saka spends Jesus spends time out there. It might not be we need to go and get another right winger, as G Talk say. You 3, you've all got a part to play in this squad. You never know. We may switch the 10 up and go more orthodox. You know what I mean? And actually, Jesus go and play in the 10 for a bit. Like you never know, because again, he's a baller. So if I give him the ball, he's going to cause problems. So actually, it gives us options. So for me, it would be nice to see him in pre-season. And it just gives us different options in it. Like, but 100%. Right, we're gonna have to get out of here. But I'm being deadly serious, you man. Next Wednesday we've got to link up again. It's been brilliant, man.
I'm there, brother, man. Brilliant. I'm there. I'm on. Click me on stream, man. I'm down for it, man.
I'm down. I'm down.
I said, man, it's been. 100%. I can't believe an hour and a half just gone like that. That's crazy. Yeah, we've
never meant to be on here that long. Big up. So let's gonna run through couple of comments. I know you got a bounce in the second Canners, but big up on Monday, as you said earlier. He's saying Preston's great to see Balogun express himself on loan. What a talent you got a headache.
That's exactly what it is. We've got a headache, but it's a great headache. Yes.
Yeah. And again, big up yourself. And again, remember the talk of 100,000 women out, and we was all like, we're asking for that much. Again, he's a person who backed himself, and him and Eddie. I don't think he got nowhere near. I think he got 50, 60. But him and Eddie, boy, and again, as I said, it's hard to find a striker out there. So boy, give him another contract at the end of the season, tie him down, do what I do with the other contracts we got to get done. But we're growing, and you can see what Chelsea did. They're spending hundreds of millions to try and build this young squad, and we've got one within our grasp already. And we're in a good position. But guys, no, we got to get out of here. Hold on, before we go, this one here, this is the one, James. People aren't paying attention enough. In fears, we're coming for everything. We have 5-6 youth players that generally have world-class potential combined with the squad growth. And with that, you're talking some of our players will only be 25 and had 5 years experience. It's coming together nicely, man. If this was what the plan was, they hoodwinked a lot of people, but I'm glad they did, to be fair.
It's a good time to be an Arsenal fan. That's all I can say. It's a good time.
It's a good time.
100%. But it's a good time for me to go upstairs before I get cussed out. Guys, G Talks, Canners, and Niger, wherever you are, big up yourselves, man.
Take it easy, man.
Come up from behind the couch now, Niger.
It's all good. It's all love. But guys, make sure you tune into the preview show. I think it's tomorrow, if not Friday. Obviously, we have the Everton reaction show. Bobby normally does a lunch along, so you'll probably catch that. And enjoy your weeks and weekend, and we'll see you soon. Enough love.
Peace.
Love.